Bonjour, hi there, hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the long-awaited topic of spoken French, speaking French fast, and understand natives. But before we start, I've got a question for you. Why on earth do you want to speak French fast? Is it because you think that speaking fast will make you feel more comfortable, will show more confidence? Or is it because you want to emulate a native speech or copy them? That's a legitimate question I have for you, and I would be very curious to read your answer in the comment because it's always interesting. There are so many reasons. Well, if you want to copy the natives, if you think that speaking fast will make you look confident, I've got a bad news for you, because French people don't speak fast. We are not like Spanish, they speak really, really fast. Es verdad, hablan muy rápido. But I'm going to give you the secrets to speak fast like we do. And before that, I would like to clarify something with you, because I think it's important. People always mix up 2 points, 2 notions: fluency and speed. So what's fluency? We talked about this last time, it's really hard to define, but let's say it's the ability to maintain a certain level of flow of words, to speak smoothly without rambling. So if I say je vais chez le docteur ce soir, I'm not really fluent because I lack of confidence in my grammar, my preposition, the contracted article maybe, or vocabulary. There are many aspects we can talk about here, but this is a clearly lack of fluency. And speed is totally different. Speed is more connected to your way of speaking, your identity. Some people speak very fast, quickly, and others speak with a normal pace, or sometimes even slow. So if I say j'irai le voir demain, this is for me a regular speed. But if I want to speed it up, I can say j'irai le voir demain. And you see, I speak fast French, but does it show any mastery? Does it show any confidence? I would say it shows the opposite, right? So fluency and speed are 2 different things. And I think in your case, you should aim for fluency, which is the mastery of your idea, using the words correctly, connecting the words correctly, conjugating, etc. The speed, it's up to you. As a teacher, we don't work so much on speed. It's not my job to make you speak faster or slower. It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of your speech. But that's another point. So, how is one able to speak French fast, like the natives? Well, first point, here you go. Connecting words and dropping sounds. French people have this easy ability to connect words and drop sounds in between or at the end. It doesn't matter. So, to illustrate that, I'm going to give you some example. First one is the classic informal question: Qu'est-ce que tu fais? So, qu'est-ce que tu fais? If you say it that way, it's totally correct. But it's far from what you will hear in the streets, talking with natives, or even in movies or TV shows on Netflix. So, qu'est-ce que tu fais? We've got 5 syllables for academic, beautiful standard French. And now in spoken French, we would say Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? 3 syllables. 5, 3. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Do I speak faster? No. But what I've just done, I've shortened my words. I even removed some. Qu'est-ce que? Qu'est-ce? And I removed the que. Tu fais. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? That's the first example. Let's take a second one. Je vais au cinéma demain. Je vais au cinéma demain. Perfect. Everyone loves cinema, going to the theater. And French people would say, je vais au ciné demain. Yes, I know. That was quick. But remember, I don't speak quickly. So, je vais au cinéma demain. We have 8 syllables here. Je vais au ciné demain. Kind of 1, 2. So you see, we have way less. So what happens here? Je vais devient je vais. We contract. We often contract de je. Hein. Je suis become je suis. Je comprends, je comprends. Je vais, je vais. Je vais au cinéma, ciné. So we have many words like this. Appartement, appart. Professeur, prof. Réfrigérateur. That's so long. We need to shorten that word. Frigo. Réfrigérateur, frigo. If you don't shorten this one, oh my goodness, you'll be so long in your sentence. I bought a new fridge. J'ai acheté un nouveau réfrigérateur. That's too long. J'ai acheté un nouveau frigo. Frigo. And so back to our cinéma. Donc, je vais au ciné. Demain, we remove kind of the ne, very subtle way. Demain. Je vais au ciné demain. And we have the same with quelque chose. Je t'ai acheté quelque chose. J't'ai, je t'ai, j't'ai, acheté, acheté, acheté. So you notice a pattern, the E in the middle of the word is often very subtle. Acheté, acheté, acheté. Especially when it's between consonants. Acheter quelque chose. You see me coming here. Quelque chose. Quelque chose. We don't even hear the L. Hein. Quelque chose, quelque chose, quelque chose. Je t'ai acheté quelque chose. Yes. It's strange, hein? But you need to get used to it. So that's for contracted words and dropping sound. This is one of the secrets. Let's go for the next one. You need to contract everything, especially when you speak. Not the six-pack, don't worry, but you need to contract especially the subject with the verbs, the article with the nouns. Because it's not always easy to do that, but when you can, it'll be there. So, tu as le temps, t'as le temps, t'as le temps, and we can even contract the article here, le, because we have a vowel. Le temps. T'as le temps. T'as le temps. Tu as le temps. T'as le temps. Here with il y a, because it's really a classic, we use il y a 10,000 times a day. Il y a, il y a, il y a, it's already better. This is what we call enchaînement vocalique et consonantique. Hein. We're going to say ya. Ya. Il y a becomes ya. Il n'y a rien ici. Il n'y a rien ici. Il n'y a rien ici. And of course, the famous je suis malade. Je suis malade. Je suis malade. So remember to contract those things, especially, I think in the beginning of the sentence, you have many possibilities to do so. If you do that, you will sound more natural, and it's pretty easy to do. Those ones at least. Let's talk about the next one. The liaison, of course. So just to be clear, remember a liaison is when you have normally an article or a pronoun, a subject or a noun, and the sounds are kind of mixing, especially when you've got a consonant. If we take the famous the Champs-Élysées, I'm going to say it that way first, and I'm going to read it like a learner that would say les Champs-Élysées without any liaison. Here, the flow is not so nice. And French is a very musical language. We love sound. We love having a nice flow, beautiful phonetics. So, les Champs-Élysées. Les Champs-Élysées. You see, Champs-Élysées. And it's the same when you say vous êtes. Vous êtes sympa, and not vous êtes sympa. So when you say vous êtes sympa, you cut the flow in the sentence. We have a little break here. Vous êtes sympa. Vous êtes sympa. And it's very important because in some cases, it will indicate if it's singular or plural. Like when you say il appelle son père, ils appellent son père. Il appelle son père, ils appellent son père. So first one singular, il appelle, and second one plural, ils appellent. So first, it's important for the meaning of the sentence, and second, it's important for your quality of speech. If you want to speak like a native, if you want to pretend that you speak French fast. So those liaisons are very important in French. But don't overthink them. I know it's a complicated topic because we've got the mandatory liaison, the forbidden one, and the optional one. So you just need to remember the liaison between the subject and the verb, and between an article and a noun. Those ones are mandatories. And those are the most important. Next point, the double consonants. For instance, when we say il lit, we've got two consonants, right? Two L. Il, one L, and lit, second L. So how do we mix this together? We cannot say ili, ili. It's not, no, it works. But usually we are going to insist a tiny bit, ili, ili. Can you hear? I insist a bit more on the L, ili. So this is the two consonant pronunciation, and we don't say il, li, illi. So we connect them and we insist a bit on the common consonant. And we also have the case, especially with S sound and D sound. I'm not going to go too much into details because it's a bit complicated and I don't think it's necessary for you guys. But un médecin, we are not going to say je vais chez le médecin, but je vais chez le médecin. Médecin. So when the C is after the D, we say médecin. But we can also have the opposite. For example, I've read something in that book. J'ai lu quelque chose dans ce bouquin. Slang. J'ai lu quelque chose dans ce bouquin. J'ai lu quelque chose dans ce bouquin. So you see here the S, which is before the C, of course, the S sound, ce bouquin. The C is before the B. It becomes a Z, dans ce bouquin. But this is more advanced topic. And usually it's S or S sound before the B or the D sound. This type of consonant. We make B, B, D. So this type of consonant works differently after with the fall of the E. But this is really the latest tip that you can achieve to reach the natives level. I've got more tips for you. Are you ready? The filler words, of course. a sound is better than a sentence. And you don't need to talk and talk and talk when a sound can make the job. So here are some of the, I've got it here on my phone because it's difficult to remember them all. Instead of saying oui, je suis d'accord, you can say carrément. Carrément, this is more a filler word than a sound, but one word, carrément, instead of oui, je suis d'accord avec toi. This is too long. People don't say that so much. Or maybe we say je suis d'accord. Je suis d'accord. Another one, if you want to express the surprise, wow. It's a classic and it always works. Wow, no, wow. If you want to show your approval, you can say excellent, excellent, with the gesture, avec le geste, excellent. You can show also that you are surprised or curious. You want to know the gossip. Ah ouais, ah ouais, ah ouais. Or your disappointment. Mais non, c'est pas vrai. Bref, you have thousands of ways to do that. And don't forget the famous when you don't know. Instead of saying, oh, je ne sais pas, je sais pas. You can do like a fart mouthing, like I say, this is really French. I've never heard anything like this outside of France. And it's a way to get closer to the natives, because if you do that, French people will connect very quickly with you. And you see, you don't even have to speak French fast. You just need to do, it's fast enough. And finally, slangs, idioms, and register. Again, be careful when you use slangs because it still vehiculates a bad image. It's usually considered as bad words. So know them and know when and with who you can use them. That's always the same advice I give to my students. About the idioms, I cannot say if I use many on a daily basis, but here's one that I like very much in French, which is ne cherche pas midi à 14h. Ne cherche pas midi à 14h. It means don't look for something difficult when it's super easy. Don't look for noon at 2 p.m. That's the literal translation. So if you're a language geek, you can learn those, you can buy books, you can try to use them. I would say it's always nice, and I like this very much because you can trace them back to history, to culture, and usually they have a very funny and interesting origin. But people use them from time to time. Don't overuse them, okay? Because will sound a bit strange for people if you spend your time using idiomatic expressions. Of course, use on instead of nous when you speak with your friends. I still prefer nous because it's more beautiful, more eloquent, but I have to be honest, I more often say on than nous. But remember, it's not the same register. The same when people say j'aime la bouffe. I talked about that before, and I hate very much when people do that because it sounds a bit rude to my ears. So instead, saying j'aime la nourriture, j'aime la gastronomie, peu importe, ou j'aime la bonne bouffe, maybe. But when you first meet a person, don't start like j'aime la bouffe. It's really, really, really strange for me. But that's the way it is. Last point regarding this, be careful with ouais. Don't overuse it. And a lot of people can't control their mouth when you start using it. It's like the toothpaste. When it's out of the tube, you cannot put it back. And people keep using it again and again and again. Even when I say in classes, okay, you use it too often. try to lower it a bit. Use it maybe during a 1 hour session, use it maybe 3, 4, 5 times. But when you reach 30 or 40, it's way too much. 1 way per minute, it's too much for me. So be aware of what you do. It's difficult sometimes. Even here, I know I've got my talks. I say so because I'm looking for my words. There's no script. However, way is a bit familiar. So try to use we sometime instead, and it'll be better. So that's it. If you want to try to speak like a native, to speak French fast, you don't need to speed up your flow of words. You need to use those tips. In fact, you need to shorten words. You need to contract them. Maybe try not to use the consonne géminée de médecin dans ce bouquin, which is more advanced, but all the others are pretty reachable for A2, B1, B2 learners. And by doing so, you will virtually increase your level by sounding more natives. And what will be the consequence or the advantage of this is you will be able to make your speech more appealing to natives' ear, especially the French who are not used to accents, because a lot of people are surprised, but still we are in France, so French people speak French. They don't always speak English or Spanish or another language. And when you don't do that, and when you are not used to those accents, people have what we call in linguistic, and I forget again the word, is a phonetic prism or a phonetic discrimination, meaning that you cannot hear sound. And your ear is not trained to hear maybe a that is not really a that is a. And so people are easily blocked. And if you can implement this in your speech, you will get a step closer to people, and you will be able to have let's say, a smoother moment in France. You'll be able to connect more easily, even more easily, with those nice French people. So try to use those tips. Tell me what you think about them. Maybe you might have discovered some. I'm sure you knew most of them. But have you implemented them in your speech? That's the question. Remember, it's good to watch videos. It's good to consume, I don't like this word, but to consume content. But what's important after that, after this video, is you try to apply this in your learning journey, in your daily life. If you speak French, try to say, okay, I have to be conscious. I have to be able to listen to myself and to say next time when I meet my friend, I will not say je suis content de te voir, mais je suis content, je suis content, je suis content de te voir, je suis content de te voir. And little by little, if you are conscious and if you implement things, you will improve. But you cannot spend 15, 20 minutes watching these videos, liking the tips, saying, yeah, oh wow, yes, it totally makes sense. Like they say today in French, ça fait sens. It totally makes sense. And you finish the video and you don't apply anything. No, please, apply. If you don't, you will have wasted 20 minutes. You will have convinced yourself that you will have learned new things, which is true. But you're not supposed to be only a learner. Start being a French speaker, not only a French learner, and you will see how quickly you will progress. That's all for today. Merci beaucoup, encore une fois, et à très bientôt. Bye bye.